The Emerald Tablet, of Hermes Trismegistus, written and published, by Lord Kubera's Magic Haven. Thus you will have the glory of the whole world, and all obscurity will flee from you. Introduction. Welcome to a journey through time and mysticism as we explore one of the most enigmatic texts in human history, the Emerald Tablet. This ancient document has captivated seekers of wisdom for centuries, serving as a cornerstone for various fields such as alchemy, philosophy, and spirituality. In this exploration, we'll uncover its significance and how its teachings have permeated both Eastern and Western esoteric traditions. With intriguing legends surrounding its origins, the Emerald Tablet invites us to ponder deeper questions about existence and the cosmos. Imagine a world where knowledge is not merely a pursuit but a divine quest, where every lesson learned from the stars and nature contributes to the fabric of the universe. Such was the allure of the Emerald Tablet, often described as a key to unlocking hidden truths about life, creation, and the mysteries of the universe. Overview of the Emerald Tablet. The Emerald Tablet is attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a figure whose legacy straddles the realms of mythology and history. This text, with its brief yet profound verses, is the foundational work in alchemical philosophy. Its core message revolves around the idea of correspondence, as above, so below, a principle that has sparked countless interpretations and practices. The importance of the Emerald Tablet transcends mere words on a page. It has been a guiding light for alchemists, mystics, and philosophers throughout history. Its teachings have influenced notable figures, from medieval alchemists who sought the philosopher's stone to modern spiritual seekers exploring the depths of consciousness. But how did this text, shrouded in mystery, come to be? Legends speak of its mystical origin, with tales of its discovery by great sages and its revelation during profound moments of enlightenment. Some believe it was found in a hidden chamber, while others claim it was bestowed upon humanity by divine beings. Each story adds layers of intrigue, inviting us to explore not just what the Emerald Tablet says, but what it represents in the grand tapestry of human understanding. Who was Hermes Trismegistus? To understand the significance of the Emerald Tablet, we must first explore who Hermes Trismegistus was. This remarkable figure is often depicted as a synthesis of the Greek god Hermes, known as the messenger of the gods and guide of souls, and the Egyptian god Thoth, the deity of wisdom, writing, and magic. This blend of cultures reflects the rich tapestry of knowledge and spirituality that permeated ancient civilizations. The title, Thrice Great Hermes, speaks volumes about his revered status. It suggests not just mastery over three realms, alchemy, astrology, and theurgy, but also embodies the unity of mind, body, and spirit. Hermes is seen as the father of alchemy and esoteric wisdom, a title that reverberates through the ages. His teachings encourage us to embark on a personal journey of transformation and enlightenment. In examining Hermes' relationship with other ancient philosophical texts, particularly the Hermetica, we uncover a wealth of knowledge that has been preserved through centuries. The Hermetica consists of writings that encompass various themes, from cosmology to the divine nature of humanity. These texts not only highlight the synthesis of Greek and Egyptian thought but also serve as a bridge connecting different philosophical traditions. Engaging stories from the era. To illustrate the profound influence of the Emerald Tablet in Hermes Trismegistus, let's consider a couple of stories from the ancient world. 1. The Alchemist's Quest. In the medieval period, a renowned alchemist named Nicholas Flamel became a legend for his pursuit of the philosopher's stone, said to grant immortality and transform base metals into gold. Flamel was deeply inspired by the teachings of the Emerald Tablet, believing that its principles held the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. His quest for knowledge and mastery over alchemical processes echoed the tablet's message of transformation, making him a symbol of the eternal seeker. 2. The Sage's Revelation. Another captivating tale comes from the 1st century, where an Egyptian sage named Hermes, believed by many to be the inspiration for Hermes Trismegistus, claimed to have received divine insights while meditating by the Nile. According to lore, he was visited by a celestial being who revealed the mysteries contained within the Emerald Tablet. This encounter not only changed his life but also inspired generations of thinkers and mystics, reinforcing the idea that the Emerald Tablet was more than a text, it was a living, breathing source of wisdom. As we traverse this rich landscape of esoteric knowledge, the Emerald Tablet stands as a pillar of enlightenment, urging us to explore the depths of our understanding and the cosmos. Its teachings, rooted in the legacy of Hermes Trismegistus, invite us to engage with the world on a deeper level, blending science, spirituality, and philosophy. So, whether you are a seeker of knowledge, an aspiring alchemist, or simply someone curious about the mysteries of life, the Emerald Tablet beckons you to embark on your own journey of discovery. Let its wisdom inspire you, challenge you, and ultimately guide you toward a greater understanding of yourself and the universe. Chapter 1: The Origin and Myth of the Emerald Tablet. The Emerald Tablet is shrouded in a rich history of myths and legends, captivating the minds of scholars, alchemists, and spiritual seekers for centuries. One of the most famous legends suggests that the tablet was discovered in the tomb of the ancient Egyptian sage Hermes Trismegistus. According to this narrative, Hermes, a figure representing wisdom and enlightenment, inscribed the tablet with profound secrets that would unlock the mysteries of alchemy and the universe. Picture this: a hidden chamber beneath the sand, where the air is thick with history and mystery. The tablet, made of green stone, glimmers softly in the dim light, engraved with cryptic symbols and phrases. Those who stumbled upon it believed it held the key to transformation and transcendence. This tale captures the imagination, positioning Hermes not just as a mythic figure, but as a bridge between the divine and the earthly realms. Another captivating legend tells of the tablet's discovery beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. In this narrative, a group of ancient seekers, drawn by an inexplicable pull, ventured into the depths of the pyramid, navigating its complex labyrinth of corridors. As they reached the innermost sanctum, they found the Emerald Tablet, resting on an altar, bathed in ethereal light. This scene evokes a sense of adventure and wonder, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge often involves a journey into the unknown. Throughout history, the Emerald Tablet has been referenced in numerous ancient texts, solidifying its importance in mystical traditions. Notable texts include the Kitab al-Balani by the 8th century alchemist Jabir ibn Hayyan and the Secret Book of Artephius. These references not only testify to its historical significance but also highlight the enduring intrigue that the tablet has inspired across cultures and epochs. Central to the mystique of the Emerald Tablet is its attribution to Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary figure who embodies the synthesis of Greek and Egyptian thought. Hermes represents a unique fusion of the Greek god Hermes, known for his communication skills, and the Egyptian god Thoth, the deity of wisdom and writing. This blending of cultures creates a figure who transcends time and space, appealing to seekers of truth across various traditions. The authorship of the Emerald Tablet has sparked passionate debate among scholars. Some argue that it is a literal historical artifact, a tangible piece of evidence from a lost civilization. Others contend that the tablet is primarily allegorical, a symbolic representation of the inner journey toward enlightenment. This divide reflects a broader philosophical conversation: is the pursuit of knowledge rooted in concrete facts, or does it thrive in the realm of metaphor and spiritual insight? For example, consider the story of Paracelsus, a Swiss physician and alchemist from the 16th century. Paracelsus revered the Emerald Tablet, viewing it as a guide to his own practice. He believed that true healing came not only from physical remedies but also from understanding the deeper spiritual truths encapsulated in the tablet. His work exemplifies how the teachings of the Emerald Tablet transcended mere text, influencing the very fabric of alchemical practice and philosophy. The impact of the Emerald Tablet. The legends and debates surrounding the Emerald Tablet have profoundly influenced various fields, including alchemy, astrology, and modern esoteric traditions. Alchemists of the Middle Ages, for instance, sought to unlock the secrets of the universe through the principles laid out in the tablet. They believed that understanding these ancient teachings could lead to the transformation of base metals into gold and, more importantly, the transformation of the soul itself. Consider the story of Nicholas Flamel, historical figure who has become synonymous with the pursuit of alchemical knowledge. Legend has it that Flamel discovered the secret of immortality through his study of the Emerald Tablet. Although this story may be steeped in myth, it illustrates the profound impact the tablet has had on the collective imagination of those seeking deeper truths. In modern times, the Emerald Tablet continues to resonate with individuals exploring spiritual awakening and self-discovery. Its teachings emphasize the unity of mind, body, and spirit, inspiring countless seekers to embark on their own journeys of transformation. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we will explore the teachings of the Emerald Tablet and how they can be applied to our modern lives. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of ancient wisdom. Chapter 2, The Text of the Emerald Tablet. The original text. Translation and structure. The original text of the Emerald Tablet came from Hermes Trismegistus, a mystical figure who represents a blend of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. The first known versions were written in Arabic, and the text was later translated into Latin and Greek, which helped it spread across Europe during the Middle Ages and Renaissance. The tablet is composed of short, powerful verses, each filled with deep symbolism. For instance, one of the most famous lines is, "That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below." In just a few words, this phrase encapsulates the mystical idea that the microcosm, the small, individual world, reflects the macrocosm, the larger, universal world. The structure of the tablet is straightforward but packed with layers of meaning. It opens by stating that it holds the secret of all creation, the great mystery of the universe. Then, it gives clues on how everything is interconnected and how this knowledge can be applied practically, particularly through alchemy. Overview of the core verses. The verses are brief, but each one is like a key to a larger mystery. Here's an example. "It is true without lying, certain and most true." This opening verse assures the reader that the truths to follow are not just abstract ideas but grounded in reality. "That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to accomplish the miracles of the one thing." This famous line hints at the interconnectedness of all things, suggesting that understanding the small, like the human mind or an individual, can lead to understanding the vast, like the cosmos or divine reality. Its father is the sun, its mother the moon, the wind carries it in its belly, the earth is its nurse. These metaphors connect the different forces of nature, sun, moon, wind, earth, with spiritual or alchemical principles. Here, the one thing that is the source of all creation is nurtured by these cosmic forces. These core verses are both poetic and philosophical. They hint at the grand unity of all life and offer a glimpse into the Hermetic principle of, as above, so below. Analysis of different versions, Arabic, Latin, and Greek sources. Throughout history, the Emerald Tablet was translated and interpreted in various languages, each version bringing its unique perspective. The Arabic version is believed to be the closest to the original, reflecting a deep connection between the wisdom of ancient Egypt and the Islamic Golden Age. When the text was translated into Latin during the medieval period, it became central to European alchemists' work. Think of figures like Roger Bacon, who used the Emerald Tablet in his studies. The Latin versions leaned heavily on the spiritual and practical aspects of alchemy, blending science and mysticism. Greek versions, though less common, show how ancient philosophers like Plato and Pythagoras might have influenced the Hermetic tradition. The Greek emphasis on harmony and balance can be seen in the way these texts describe the relationships between the forces of nature. Key concepts. Now let's dive deeper into the major themes that make the Emerald Tablet so compelling. As above, so below. One of the most iconic concepts in esotericism, as above, so below, suggests that everything in the universe is interconnected. It's the idea that the movements of the planets can influence our lives here on Earth, and that the workings of our minds reflect the larger workings of the cosmos. This concept resonates across many traditions. For example, astrologers believe that by studying the stars, they could predict or understand events on earth. In alchemy, it implies that the same principles that govern the heavens also apply to human transformation. This is why alchemists sought not just to change lead into gold but to transform their own spirits into something higher and purer. A real-life example. Take a look at the alchemist Paracelsus from the 16th century. He believed that by understanding the natural world and how its forces interacted, he could heal diseases in the human body. He viewed the human being as a microcosm of the universe, a smaller version of the whole. This belief was directly influenced by the Emerald Tablet's notion of, as above, so below. The nature of the one thing. The one thing mentioned in the Emerald Tablet is a central mystery. What is this one thing? In alchemical terms, it represents the primal substance from which everything else in the universe emerges. This idea connects to the mystical belief that there is a single, divine source behind all creation. Different interpreters have identified the one thing with God, the philosopher's stone, a legendary alchemical substance, or even the human soul. The important takeaway is that everything is connected through this one thing, and by understanding it, we gain mastery over both the physical and spiritual realms. Alchemical symbolism: mercury, sulfur, and salt. In the Emerald Tablet, the alchemical process is symbolized by three key substances: mercury, sulfur, and salt. These aren't just ordinary elements, they represent the building blocks of both material and spiritual transformation. Mercury represents the mind, spirit, and fluidity. In the alchemical process, mercury is associated with the soul's ability to transcend and adapt. Sulfur symbolizes the essence of life and the fiery energy of transformation. It's connected to passion, drive, and spiritual fire. Salt represents the body, the physical form, and stability. In the alchemical process, salt helps ground the other elements, creating balance. By combining mercury, sulfur, and salt in different ways, alchemists believed they could achieve the philosopher's stone, an object capable of turning base metals into gold and granting eternal life. But more importantly, they saw this process as symbolic of transforming the soul from a state of ignorance to one of enlightenment. A real-life example. An alchemist named Nicolas Flamel, who lived in 14th century France, claimed to have decoded the secrets of the Emerald Tablet. He believed that through his work with alchemical symbols like mercury, sulfur, and salt, he could not only create gold but also unlock the secrets of eternal life. His story captured the imagination of generations and remains one of the most famous tales associated with alchemy. The Emerald Tablet might be a short text, but its impact has been great, inspiring generations of alchemists, philosophers, and spiritual seekers. Its core messages, about the unity of all things, the transformative power of nature, and the potential for human enlightenment, remain as relevant today as they were centuries ago. In the next chapter, we will dive deeper into how these ancient ideas have shaped modern thought, including how the concept of, as above, so below, continues to influence our understanding of science, spirituality, and personal growth. Chapter 3: Alchemical Interpretation of the Emerald Tablet. Alchemy and the Tablet. In this chapter, we explore the profound influence of the Emerald Tablet, an ancient text believed to contain the secrets of the universe, on medieval and Renaissance alchemy. It's not just a mystical object or a cryptic puzzle. The Emerald Tablet was the cornerstone upon which alchemists based their entire understanding of the cosmos and the nature of transformation. But what was alchemy truly about? The Emerald Tablet's famous phrase, "as above, so below," speaks to the idea that everything in the universe is connected. Alchemists saw this connection not just in the heavens and the earth, but in every aspect of life, including the process of spiritual transformation. They believed that through understanding this unity, they could unlock hidden knowledge and change both the material world and their inner selves. For example, Isaac Newton, yes, the same man who discovered gravity, was deeply influenced by the Emerald Tablet. He saw alchemy as a way to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. Newton believed that by studying the hidden forces of nature, one could gain a better understanding of God's creation. For him, alchemy wasn't just about turning lead into gold, it was about discovering the divine laws that govern the universe. This leads us to the concept of transmutation, which on the surface was the alchemical dream of turning base metals into gold. But on a deeper level, it was about spiritual purification and personal transformation. The alchemists saw the process of refining metals as a metaphor for refining the soul, burning away impurities to reveal the pure essence of a person's true self. In fact, many scholars argue that alchemists were more interested in the transformation of the soul than of metals. Symbolism in alchemical processes. The language of alchemy was rich in symbols. The furnace, the alembic, the philosopher's stone, all these symbols weren't just practical tools but spiritual metaphors. The alchemical process mirrored a journey of self-discovery, with each stage representing a phase in the soul's quest for enlightenment. Take Paracelsus, one of the most famous alchemists of the Renaissance, who saw the alchemical symbols as a way to understand human health. He believed that illness was caused by imbalances in the body's internal chemistry and that alchemy could restore this balance. Paracelsus wasn't just trying to create gold, he was trying to create health, balance, and wholeness in the human body, mind, and spirit. The 4 phases of the great work. Alchemists believed that the process of transformation followed 4 distinct stages, known as the great work. These stages weren't just chemical processes but steps on the path to personal enlightenment. Nigredo, blackening, purification and breaking down of matter. The first stage, Nigredo, represented the breaking down of matter, both physically and spiritually. In the lab, this was the phase where substances were reduced to their base elements through burning or dissolving. Spiritually, it symbolized a time of deep introspection in confronting the shadow self, the darker, hidden parts of the soul. For instance, the 15th century alchemist Basil Valentine described Nigredo as a time of darkness and chaos, where the alchemist had to face the impurities within themselves before they could begin the work of transformation. It was a humbling process, but also necessary. Just as the material needed to be purified, so too did the soul. Albedo, whitening, spiritual enlightenment and cleansing. After the darkness of Nigredo comes the light of albedo. This stage represents the purification of the soul, a return to innocence and clarity. In alchemical terms, it's the moment when the substance begins to turn white, symbolizing purity and light. In personal terms, it's the point where the alchemist starts to achieve spiritual clarity and enlightenment. Mary the Jewess, a pioneering alchemist in ancient Alexandria, spoke of this stage as one of rebirth. She described it as a moment of spiritual cleansing, where the individual begins to reconnect with their higher self and sees the world with fresh eyes. It's a time of renewal, where the alchemist feels a sense of peace and purpose. Citronides, yellowing, awakening and wisdom. The third stage is citronides, or the yellowing, where spiritual awakening occurs. Here, the alchemist gains wisdom and begins to integrate the lessons learned during the earlier phases. This stage represents a time of profound understanding and insight, where the individual starts to see the bigger picture and their place within it. This phase was less common in earlier alchemical texts, but during the Renaissance, it took on greater significance. Johannes Trithemius, a Renaissance scholar, spoke of citronides as the illumination of the soul, a stage where the alchemist connects with the divine and starts to see the universe in a new light. Rubedo, reddening, the final stage, the creation of the philosopher's stone. Finally, we come to rubedo, the reddening, which represents the completion of the great work. In alchemical terms, this is the moment when the substance reaches its highest state of perfection, often symbolized by the creation of the philosopher's stone, a legendary substance said to grant immortality and turn any metal into gold. But spiritually, rubedo is the point where the alchemist achieves true enlightenment. It's the merging of body and soul, the union of the material and the spiritual. Nicholas Flamel, one of the most famous alchemists in history, was said to have achieved this stage. According to legend, he discovered the philosopher's stone and lived for centuries, though this is likely a metaphor for the spiritual immortality he gained through his work. In essence, Alchemy was never just about transforming metals, it was about transforming the self. Each stage of the great work mirrored the inner journey of the alchemist, from the darkness of Nigredo to the enlightenment of Rubedo. These phases remind us that personal growth, like alchemy, is a slow, deliberate process that requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to confront our own inner demons. Alchemy, as reflected through the teachings of the Emerald Tablet, teaches us that the path to enlightenment is not about shortcuts or easy answers. It's about embracing the process, learning from the challenges, and trusting that, like the philosopher's stone, our true potential can only be realized through perseverance and inner transformation. By understanding these alchemical processes, we gain insight not only into the mystical traditions of the past but also into the timeless quest for personal growth and enlightenment. If you found this chapter engaging, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of alchemy and the secrets of the universe. Share your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear your take on the alchemical process. Chapter 4, Philosophical and Esoteric Meaning. The Cosmic Unity. Let's dive into one of the core messages of the Emerald Tablet, the idea of cosmic unity. This isn't just about the stars, the planets, and our place in the universe, it's about understanding how everything is connected at both a grand and personal level. The tablet speaks to a deep metaphysical truth: the universe and the human soul are reflections of each other. This idea, often summed up in the famous phrase, "as above, so below," means that what happens in the heavens mirrors what happens within us. Imagine for a moment that each one of us carries within ourselves a little piece of the entire universe. Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary figure behind the Emerald Tablet, believed that humans weren't just isolated beings wandering the earth, we are actually part of a greater whole, a microcosm within the vast macrocosm of the universe. Think of it this way: if you've ever watched how nature behaves, from the cycles of the moon to the changing seasons, you'll notice a kind of order, a pattern to it all. Hermes believed that this same natural order exists within the human soul. Just as the universe is vast and mysterious, so too is the inner landscape of our mind and spirit. If we learn to understand this cosmic connection, we gain not just wisdom but the ability to harmonize with the forces of nature. Take, for instance, the life of Pythagoras, the great mathematician and mystic of ancient Greece. He understood this cosmic unity and taught his students that the harmony of music and mathematics could reveal the structure of the universe itself. His insights were based on the same principles that Hermes outlined: everything is interconnected, and by understanding one part, we can unlock the mysteries of the whole. Hermetic philosophy. Now, let's talk about Hermetic philosophy, which flows directly from the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. This philosophy is built around three key elements of wisdom: alchemy, astrology, and theurgy. First, let's explore alchemy. It's easy to think of alchemy as just the medieval pursuit of turning lead into gold, but in Hermetic terms, alchemy is much more. It represents the transformation of the human soul. Just as the alchemist seeks to purify metals, we are tasked with purifying ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, our spirits, to become more aligned with the divine. It's about turning the lead of our lower nature into the gold of spiritual enlightenment. For example, the famous alchemist Nicholas Flamel, whose work became legendary in the late Middle Ages, was rumored to have discovered the secret of the philosopher's stone. But the true treasure he pursued wasn't just material wealth, it was spiritual transcendence, turning the human soul into something eternal and divine. The second element is astrology. This isn't just about horoscopes, it's about understanding how the stars and planets influence life on Earth. According to Hermes, the movement of the heavens affects everything below. This knowledge allows us to align our lives with the natural rhythms of the universe. The stars are not distant and detached, they are actively shaping our destinies. Finally, there's theurgy, the practice of invoking the presence of the divine to assist in spiritual transformation. Theurgists believe that through rituals and invocations, they can connect with the gods, angels, or other divine forces. In ancient times, people like Iamblichus, a Neoplatonist philosopher, practiced theurgy to purify the soul and unite with the divine. He saw it as a way of actively participating in the workings of the cosmos, not just observing them. Together, these three elements form the foundation of Hermetic wisdom. The Emerald Tablet shows us how to use these principles to elevate ourselves beyond the material world and embrace a higher spiritual purpose. The Tablet and Gnostic thought. There's a fascinating connection between the Emerald Tablet and Gnosticism, an ancient religious movement that also emphasized the importance of divine knowledge. Gnostics believed that the material world was a trap, created by a lesser god to imprison souls. The goal of life, according to Gnostic teachings, was to transcend this physical world and return to the divine realm through enlightenment. The Emerald Tablet offers a similar message. It speaks of a divine spark within each of us, waiting to be awakened. Hermes taught that by gaining knowledge of the universe and ourselves, we could rise above the limitations of the material world and reunite with the divine. This mirrors the Gnostic idea of salvation through knowledge. Knowing who you truly are and where you come from allows you to escape the confines of the physical world. Take the story of Valentinus, a prominent Gnostic teacher in the 2nd century AD. Valentinus spoke of a divine realm filled with light and wisdom, and he believed that through enlightenment, one could ascend to this realm and escape the darkness of the material world. The Emerald Tablet echoes this sentiment, encouraging us to seek wisdom and light, and reminding us that we are, at our core, beings of divine potential. Enlightenment, according to both the Tablet and Gnostic thought, is the key to transcending suffering and material limitation. It's about waking up to the truth of our existence and understanding that the real battle isn't with external forces, it's within. It's about breaking free from ignorance and embracing the knowledge that we are all interconnected, that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. Bringing it all together. In summary, the cosmic unity, Hermetic philosophy, and Gnostic thought all come together in the Emerald Tablet's teachings. Whether we're talking about the interconnectedness of the universe, the transformative power of alchemy, astrology, and theurgy, or the Gnostic pursuit of divine knowledge, it's all about discovering the higher truth that lies beyond the material world. The tablet invites us to look inward, explore the depths of our soul, and rise to the spiritual heights that are our true birthright. These ideas, while ancient, continue to inspire modern seekers on their journey toward self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment. The wisdom of the Emerald Tablet isn't just a relic of the past, it's a timeless guide for anyone looking to unlock the mysteries of the universe and their own soul. As you ponder these concepts, remember the words of Hermes, that which is above is like that which is below. The answers you seek are not out there somewhere, they are within you, waiting to be discovered. Chapter 5, Scientific Influence of the Emerald Tablet. Welcome to Chapter 5, where we're diving into the profound impact of the Emerald Tablet on the evolution of science, particularly in the fields of alchemy and early chemistry. If you've ever wondered how ancient mystical texts shaped the birth of modern scientific thought, you're in for a fascinating journey. Let's unravel how alchemy, once considered a mystical and spiritual art, laid the foundation for modern chemistry and how legendary figures like Isaac Newton found deep meaning in the teachings of the Emerald Tablet. Alchemy's influence on early science. Many of us know alchemy as a medieval quest to transform base metals into gold. But alchemy wasn't just about turning lead into gold, it was a philosophical and spiritual system that viewed the world as a unified whole. This holistic perspective deeply influenced the development of early scientific methods. Alchemists believed that everything in the universe was interconnected, and that by understanding one element, you could unlock the secrets of another. This idea of universal connection can be traced back to the Emerald Tablet, a cryptic text said to reveal the truth of the universe. One of the most famous passages from the tablet reads, "As above, so below, as within, so without." This phrase suggests a profound relationship between the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual. Early alchemists took this idea to heart, believing that by understanding nature, they could gain insight into the divine. Alchemists, despite their mystical intentions, were some of the first practitioners to experiment in a laboratory-like environment. They mixed chemicals, observed reactions, and recorded their findings. This experimental approach laid the groundwork for the scientific method that would later shape modern science. Take the story of Paracelsus, a Swiss alchemist and physician in the 16th century. Paracelsus used alchemical principles to advance medicine. He rejected the common medical practices of his time and experimented with minerals and chemicals to treat patients. His work is often seen as a bridge between alchemy and modern chemistry, and it was influenced by the holistic ideas of the Emerald Tablet. Paracelsus's belief that there was a universal spirit in all substances was directly drawn from the alchemical teachings rooted in the tablet. Through these experiments, alchemists discovered substances like acids, bases, and salts, key elements that are central to modern chemistry. So, while their ultimate goal may have been mystical, their method of experimentation was crucial in transforming mystical ideas into scientific discovery. The relationship between alchemy and the emergence of chemistry. As alchemy evolved over the centuries, it started to focus more on the material world, especially in the 17th century. This shift from the mystical to the physical world helped transition alchemy into what we now know as chemistry. The fundamental belief in transformation, the idea that one thing could be changed into another, didn't disappear. Instead, it became the basis for understanding chemical reactions. In fact, one of the most influential figures in modern chemistry, Robert Boyle, is often referred to as the father of chemistry. Boyle was deeply influenced by alchemical texts, including the Emerald Tablet. He believed that studying the natural world could reveal divine truths, a belief straight out of the alchemical tradition. Boyle's work, especially his famous book The Skeptical Chymist, 1661, laid the foundation for modern chemistry, but its roots were undeniably tied to the ancient ideas of alchemy and the philosophy of the Emerald Tablet. Newton and the Emerald Tablet. Now, let's talk about Isaac Newton, one of the most famous scientists in history, known for his work in physics, mathematics, and optics. What many people don't know is that Newton was also deeply involved in alchemy. In fact, he spent more time on alchemical experiments and writing than he did on physics. Newton was fascinated by the Emerald Tablet and even translated it himself from Latin to English. His translation of the tablet wasn't just an intellectual exercise. Newton believed that the truths contained in the Emerald Tablet could help him understand the workings of the universe. He saw the principles of alchemy and science as connected, believing that the natural laws he was uncovering through his study of gravity and motion had their origins in the universal truths the tablet revealed. Newton's obsession with alchemy is often overlooked in modern textbooks, but it was central to his thinking. He didn't see a division between science and spirituality the way we often do today. To Newton, the study of nature was the study of God's creation. The same curiosity that led him to formulate the laws of motion also drove him to search for the philosopher's stone, an alchemical substance said to hold the power of transformation. For example, Newton believed that the forces of attraction and repulsion he described in his laws of gravity and motion were related to the alchemical idea of opposites seeking balance. This echoes the Emerald Tablet's teachings about the interconnectedness of all things. That which is below is like that which is above, could easily be read as an early description of the balance of forces in the universe. Newton's fascination with the Emerald Tablet wasn't just about mystical knowledge, it also helped him frame his scientific discoveries in a larger, universal context. He saw the physical world and the metaphysical world as two sides of the same coin, much like the alchemists before him. Newton's blending of these two worlds, spirituality and science, set the stage for future generations of thinkers to explore the mysteries of the universe through both reason and faith. How the Emerald Tablet influenced other scientific figures. Newton wasn't the only prominent figure influenced by the Emerald Tablet. Alchemical ideas were embedded in the early scientific revolution, and many leading thinkers at the time were captivated by the tablet's teachings. The German philosopher and mathematician Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, who co-discovered calculus, was also fascinated by alchemy. He believed in the transformation of substances and sought a universal harmony in his scientific and philosophical work. Even in more recent times, the teachings of the Emerald Tablet have inspired psychologists like Carl Jung, who saw the alchemical process as a metaphor for personal transformation. Jung was particularly drawn to the concept of as above, so below, using it to explore the connection between the conscious and unconscious mind. For him, alchemy wasn't just about material transformation but about the inner transformation of the soul. The Emerald Tablet has had a lasting influence on the development of modern science, particularly through the bridge between alchemy and chemistry. Figures like Isaac Newton and Robert Boyle used the principles of the tablet as a guide, shaping their understanding of the world in ways that continue to resonate today. While alchemy may no longer be seen as a scientific discipline, its teachings live on in the very foundations of how we approach the natural world. Chapter 6: Spiritual and Psychological Interpretation. Let's take a journey into Chapter 6, where we explore how ancient wisdom and modern psychology come together to unlock the deeper meaning of the Emerald Tablet. In this chapter, we'll dive into the ideas of Carl Jung and how he used alchemy as a metaphor for personal transformation. We'll also explore how the teachings of the Emerald Tablet have evolved and been embraced by contemporary spiritual movements. Jung and the alchemical process. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in modern psychology, was fascinated by alchemy. But, he didn't see it in the way we think of alchemy, the quest to turn base metals into gold. For Jung, alchemy was more than that. He believed it was a perfect metaphor for inner transformation. Alchemy's symbols, processes, and stages, such as calcination, sublimation, and coagulation, weren't just about chemistry. They were about the journey of the self, the soul's development. Jung saw it as a psychological map of individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are. Jung proposed that the alchemical process mirrored the stages of inner growth, where each stage of the alchemist's work reflected a stage of psychological transformation. Let's consider this for a moment. Think of someone going through a major life crisis. Maybe it's someone like historical figure Isaac Newton, who, in the 1660s, faced a plague that forced him into isolation. During this time, Newton, already wrestling with deep personal questions, dove into alchemy. Newton wasn't just after gold, he was trying to unlock the secrets of the universe, and his own mind. His alchemical studies were about self-discovery, about understanding how transformation happens on a spiritual level. Similarly, for Jung, when we face crises or deep challenges, it's like an alchemical process happening inside us. We experience a breakdown, a death of old ways of thinking, the nigredo phase in alchemy, but out of that destruction comes rebirth, new insights, and self-awareness, albedo or the whitening phase. Think about it like going through fire to emerge stronger, just like the mythical phoenix. By engaging in this process, Jung said we become more integrated and authentic individuals. His exploration of alchemy wasn't just an intellectual exercise, it was a spiritual roadmap. Just as the ancient alchemists transformed lead into gold, Jung believed we have the potential to transform our own psychological lead, our inner chaos, trauma, and shadow, into gold, a state of enlightenment and peace. The tablet and modern spirituality. Now, let's bring this ancient wisdom into modern times. The Emerald Tablet, a mysterious, ancient text believed to contain the secret to both material and spiritual transformation, has been deeply influential in many contemporary spiritual movements. The words of the tablet, as above, so below, resonate across time and space, and for good reason. It's a statement that has been reinterpreted countless times in both esoteric and mainstream thought. In the New Age movement, the tablet's teachings are often used as a foundation for understanding the unity of all things. Everything in the universe is connected, and this idea fits perfectly with the principles of modern spirituality. People look to the tablet to find harmony in their lives, to understand that what happens within us reflects the world around us, and vice versa. Take for example the law of attraction, a popular concept in New Age philosophy. It is rooted in the idea that your thoughts, the above, directly influence your reality, the below. This mirrors the Emerald Tablet's teachings of universal interconnectedness. But the influence of the Emerald Tablet goes beyond individual spirituality. In esoteric literature, it's often referenced in discussions about the alchemy of the soul. Spiritual teachers like Helena Blavatsky in the late 19th century took these ancient texts and applied them to their teachings about the spiritual evolution of humanity. For them, the Emerald Tablet wasn't just a relic from ancient Egypt, it was a living guide for personal and collective spiritual awakening. And let's not forget how this has seeped into popular culture. Whether it's movies that talk about the great work of alchemy or books that explore themes of spiritual transformation, the essence of the Emerald Tablet is alive and well in modern storytelling. Even figures like Paulo Coelho, in his book The Alchemist, bring these ideas to life. His protagonist's journey is essentially an alchemical one, full of personal transformation, where the treasure found is not just material wealth, but spiritual wisdom. What makes the teachings of the Emerald Tablet so enduring is that they speak to something universal. People are still searching for meaning, for ways to transform their lives. The Emerald Tablet offers a timeless message: the answers we seek are within us, and the universe mirrors that process. Whether through the lens of Jung's psychological exploration or the way the Emerald Tablet continues to influence spiritual seekers today, we can see how these ancient ideas have evolved. They are as relevant now as they were thousands of years ago. What these teachings remind us is that transformation is both an internal and external process. What happens in our minds and hearts is deeply connected to the universe itself. So, as we continue exploring the rich legacy of the Emerald Tablet, let's reflect on how these lessons of transformation can apply to our own lives. Whether you are going through personal challenges or seeking a deeper connection with the world around you, the alchemical journey is one we are all on. Just remember, as the Emerald Tablet says, as above, so below. Chapter 7, Modern Interpretations and Applications. The Tablet in Popular Culture. The Emerald Tablet has had a lasting influence on literature, film, and contemporary media. Over the centuries, its mysterious, cryptic nature has captured the imaginations of storytellers and thinkers. In popular culture, the Emerald Tablet often serves as a symbol of ultimate knowledge or mystical power, sparking ideas about transformation, enlightenment, and the hidden forces of the universe. For example, in many fantasy novels and films, the tablet is depicted as an ancient artifact that holds the key to unlocking the secrets of the cosmos. Consider how J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series uses the idea of alchemy and the Philosopher's Stone to mirror the themes of transformation found in the Emerald Tablet. The Philosopher's Stone in the series represents immortality in ultimate wisdom, echoing the tablet's concept of turning base elements into gold or pure spirit. In the realm of cinema, the quest for hidden knowledge and transformation is a recurring theme. Movies like The Matrix or Inception touch on ideas that align with the mystical wisdom of the Emerald Tablet, breaking down the illusion of reality to reach a higher truth. These films question the nature of existence and challenge characters, and viewers, to consider the deeper layers of reality, much like the Emerald Tablet encourages seekers to look beyond the surface. The Emerald Tablet has also made appearances in conspiracy theories and esoteric philosophies discussed on various online platforms. Some see it as a direct link to ancient extraterrestrial knowledge or advanced technologies lost to time. These interpretations, although fantastical, show how the Emerald Tablet continues to inspire curiosity and speculation, even in the digital age. In literature, thinkers like Paulo Coelho in The Alchemist have drawn on the allegorical aspects of the Emerald Tablet. Coelho's novel tells the story of a young shepherd who learns the importance of following his personal legend, a modern interpretation of the alchemical process of turning lead into gold, or realizing one's true purpose. This reflects the tablet's enduring message: transformation is both a personal and universal process. Applying the tablet's wisdom today. So how can we apply the timeless wisdom of the Emerald Tablet in the modern world? Though its language might seem cryptic, the lessons within the text remain relevant, offering guidance on spiritual growth, personal transformation, and ethical living. One of the core ideas in the Emerald Tablet is the phrase, "as above, so below," which speaks to the interconnectedness of all things. In today's world, this can be understood as a reminder that our inner world, our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, directly influences our outer reality. If you want to bring positive change to your life, start by cultivating positive thoughts and habits. Just as the alchemists sought to transform lead into gold, we can apply the same principle to our personal development by seeking to improve ourselves continuously. Take, for example, the story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychologist. In his book Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl describes how, even in the most dire and horrific circumstances, individuals have the power to choose their attitude and find meaning in suffering. This echoes the Emerald Tablet's teachings about the power of inner transformation. No matter what external chaos may surround us, we have the ability to rise above it and find clarity and purpose within. The tablet also encourages us to look at life through a spiritual lens. In today's fast-paced, materialistic world, the tablet reminds us of the importance of balance, between work and rest, action and reflection, the physical and the spiritual. For example, many people now turn to mindfulness and meditation as tools for achieving that balance, echoing the alchemical process of refining the self. By quieting the mind and focusing on inner peace, we can access deeper truths and live more harmoniously with the world around us. Ethically, the Emerald Tablet promotes integrity, patience, and the pursuit of wisdom. It suggests that true mastery, whether in life or in any skill, comes from dedication, humility, and a willingness to learn from both successes and failures. For instance, many modern entrepreneurs draw on this principle when they speak of failing forward, learning from mistakes and using those lessons to achieve greater success later. The alchemist's journey is never a straight line, it involves trial, error, and perseverance. The same applies to personal growth and achieving our goals today. Bringing it home. So, how do you take the wisdom of the Emerald Tablet and use it in your everyday life? Start by reflecting on how, as above, so below, plays out in your daily interactions. Are you aligning your inner values with your outer actions? Are you seeking balance and clarity, or are you letting stress and chaos take the lead? The tablet urges us to seek harmony in all areas of life, to become more aware of our thoughts, and to actively participate in our own spiritual evolution. By doing so, you'll be practicing a modern form of alchemy, turning the raw materials of your life into something valuable, meaningful, and transformative. Examples in practice. Spiritual transformation. Just as alchemists transformed lead into gold, individuals like Gandhi transformed personal suffering into a source of power and inspiration for social change. Personal growth. Many successful people, from athletes to artists, have tapped into the tablet's principle of refinement. They continually strive to perfect their craft, learning from every experience. Ethical living. In modern movements for social justice, we can see the principle of, as above, so below, in action. Those who cultivate compassion and fairness within themselves work to create a more just and equal society. By embracing these timeless teachings, we can make meaningful changes in our own lives and the world around us. The Emerald Tablet may be ancient, but its wisdom is more relevant than ever. Chapter 8: Controversies and Misunderstandings. Debates over authenticity. The Emerald Tablet is one of the most revered texts in the history of alchemy, but it has also been the subject of heated debates regarding its authenticity. These debates span centuries and involve scholars, mystics, and even scientists, all trying to pinpoint its origin and true meaning. One of the main points of contention is where and when the Emerald Tablet was written. Some believe it dates back to ancient Egypt, possibly by the hand of the mythical sage Hermes Trismegistus. Others, however, argue that the text may be a medieval forgery, created to lend credibility to the burgeoning alchemical movements of Europe. Let's think about this for a moment. Imagine a text so powerful, so mysterious, that different people across different ages wanted to claim it as their own. It speaks to the influence the Emerald Tablet has had over time. But with great influence comes great scrutiny. For example, scholars in the Renaissance period passionately debated its origins. Isaac Newton, the great physicist, translated the Emerald Tablet from Latin, believing it held the keys to understanding the universe. Newton, a man of science, thought it was genuine and connected to ancient wisdom, yet other scholars dismissed the text as a clever concoction by medieval alchemists looking for fame. The debate reached such a fever pitch that entire books were written just to argue for or against the tablet's authenticity. In modern times, the academic world remains divided. Some historians argue that there's no solid proof of its existence in ancient Egypt or Greece, which casts doubt on its historical legitimacy. Others point out that the principles outlined in the tablet, concepts like, as above, so below, resonate with ancient philosophies and mysticism, giving credence to its timeless value even if its exact origin remains a mystery. Ultimately, the debate over authenticity may never be fully resolved. But perhaps that's what makes the Emerald Tablet so fascinating. Whether ancient wisdom or medieval myth, it continues to captivate minds and challenge our understanding of the world and ourselves. Misinterpretations. Now, let's dive into something even more intriguing: how the Emerald Tablet has been misunderstood. When a text carries as much mystique as this one does, it's inevitable that people will misinterpret its meaning, sometimes with good intentions, and sometimes to further their own agendas. In the world of alchemy, many practitioners have taken the words of the Emerald Tablet literally, focusing on the idea of turning base metals into gold. But if we pause for a moment, we can see that this interpretation is somewhat surface level. Many alchemists, especially during the Middle Ages, became obsessed with the idea of literal gold. They set up laboratories, mixing chemicals and hoping for that magical moment when lead would transform into gold. And while they may not have succeeded in creating physical gold, their obsession with the material missed the deeper, spiritual essence of the Emerald Tablet. Consider Nicholas Flamel, a famous alchemist from the 14th century. Legends say that Flamel discovered the secret to immortality and endless wealth through his studies of the Emerald Tablet. This narrative fueled centuries of fascination with the tablet as a source of literal riches, but it also missed the point of alchemy as a path toward spiritual refinement and enlightenment. It's a prime example of how a misunderstanding of the tablet's true message can take on a life of its own, creating myths that overshadow the original wisdom. Another common misinterpretation comes from the academic world. Many scholars who analyzed the Emerald Tablet in the 18th and 19th centuries dismissed it as nonsensical gibberish, completely missing the layers of symbolic meaning. To them, it was just another pseudoscientific text from a bygone era, with little relevance to modern thought. These scholars weren't alchemists themselves, so they saw the tablet only through the lens of logic and reason, dismissing its metaphysical and mystical insights. Spiritual communities, too, have often misunderstood the Emerald Tablet. Some see it as a guidebook for supernatural powers, using its verses to justify all kinds of spiritual claims, from astral travel to divine manifestation. While there's certainly a mystical component to the tablet, it's far from a how-to manual for magic tricks. Instead, its teachings are meant to guide the seeker toward deeper self-knowledge and understanding of the universe's interconnectedness. What's fascinating about these misinterpretations is that they show how adaptable the Emerald Tablet's message is. Each person or group sees what they're looking for, whether it's literal gold, academic dismissiveness, or spiritual miracles. But beneath all these layers lies the core wisdom of the Emerald Tablet, waiting to be unlocked by those willing to look beyond the surface. Bringing it all together. In the end, the controversies and misunderstandings surrounding the Emerald Tablet only add to its allure. The debates over its authenticity show how powerful and influential the text has been, inspiring centuries of thought and argument. The misinterpretations reveal just how profound and flexible its teachings are, capable of being adapted, misunderstood, and reimagined in countless ways. And yet, through it all, the Emerald Tablet remains. Whether seen as an ancient relic, a medieval forgery, or a timeless guide to spiritual enlightenment, its words continue to resonate, challenging us to question our understanding of reality, consciousness, and the nature of existence itself. So, what do you think? Is the Emerald Tablet ancient wisdom, or just a clever trick? And how have its misinterpretations shaped our views on alchemy and spirituality? These are the questions that still ignite passionate debates, even today. Let's take a moment to reflect on people like Giordano Bruno, an Italian philosopher from the Renaissance era. He was deeply influenced by the mystical aspects of alchemy, including the Emerald Tablet. Bruno believed in the infinite nature of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things, a belief that aligns with the famous phrase from the Emerald Tablet, "As above, so below." But Bruno's ideas were so controversial that he was ultimately burned at the stake for his beliefs. This tragic end reflects the intensity with which the knowledge of alchemy and the Emerald Tablet was both revered and feared. In contrast, you have someone like Johann Joachim Becher, a 17th-century alchemist, who took the Emerald Tablet's teachings quite literally. Becher spent much of his life trying to uncover the secrets of transmutation, hoping to turn base metals into gold. His relentless pursuit of the material aspects of alchemy led to many failed experiments, but it also contributed to the development of early chemistry. Here we see how the misinterpretation of the Emerald Tablet's metaphorical wisdom could lead someone down a different path, with results that were both valuable and misguided. These stories of individuals across time show just how powerful and enigmatic the Emerald Tablet has been. It speaks to our deepest desires for knowledge, power, and understanding, while also reminding us that its true essence may be something far more spiritual and elusive than we first imagine. Closing thoughts. The Emerald Tablet's message is timeless, whether debated for its authenticity or misunderstood for its purpose. As we unravel the mysteries and controversies surrounding it, we can appreciate how it continues to challenge, inspire, and enlighten those who seek its wisdom. And remember, it's not just about what the Emerald Tablet says, it's about what it reveals to you on your personal journey. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface. Chapter 9, Comparative Analysis. The Tablet and Other Mystical Texts. Let's take a journey into some of the most profound and timeless mystical texts the world has ever known and see how the Emerald Tablet connects with them. When you think about ancient spiritual teachings, the Tao Te Ching, Bhagavad Gita, and other mystical philosophies from different corners of the world may come to mind. The Emerald Tablet stands among them, not just as an isolated piece of wisdom but as a part of this larger universal conversation about existence, transformation, and unity. Let's begin with the Tao Te Ching. This ancient Chinese text, attributed to Laozi, emphasizes the flow of life and the importance of aligning oneself with the Tao, the way or path. The central idea of letting things unfold naturally, without force, mirrors the Emerald Tablet's teachings on harmony and balance. The famous phrase from the Tao Te Ching, "He who knows others is wise, he who knows himself is enlightened," parallels the tablet's focus on self-awareness and inner transformation. For example, imagine the story of Zhuangzi, a Chinese philosopher who lived around the 4th century BCE. Legend says he once dreamed he was a butterfly, fluttering freely, completely unaware of his human form. Upon waking, Zhuangzi pondered whether he was a man dreaming of a butterfly or a butterfly dreaming he was a man. This story captures the theme of unity and transformation, much like the Emerald Tablet, which tells us that everything is connected and that understanding the microcosm reveals the secrets of the macrocosm. Now, let's talk about the Bhagavad Gita, the sacred Hindu text. In the Gita, the warrior Prince Arjuna is paralyzed with doubt on the battlefield, and Lord Krishna guides him, teaching him about duty, the eternal soul, and the interconnectedness of all life. Like the Emerald Tablet, the Gita emphasizes the unity of the universe and the transformation of the soul through spiritual knowledge. When Krishna tells Arjuna, "The soul is neither born nor does it die," he's echoing the eternal truths that we also find in the Emerald Tablet's discussions of rebirth and the cyclical nature of existence. In comparing these mystical philosophies, it becomes clear that despite their geographical and cultural differences, they all tap into the same universal themes: unity, transformation, and divine understanding. Whether it's the Tao's flow, Krishna's wisdom in the Gita, or the alchemical secrets in the Emerald Tablet, these texts all remind us of the deeper, often hidden, currents of existence that shape our reality. One story that stands out is from the life of Ramana Maharshi, a renowned Indian sage in the early 20th century. He was once asked about the meaning of life, and instead of giving a philosophical answer, he remained silent for a long time. His silence was his teaching, a reminder that the deepest truths cannot always be explained but must be experienced directly, much like the cryptic and mystical teachings of the Emerald Tablet itself. The Emerald Tablet is not just an ancient relic, frozen in time. Its teachings carry a timeless quality, constantly unfolding as humanity evolves. When we explore the mysteries it holds, we find that it speaks to every era, every generation, in ways that are both literal and metaphorical. The enduring significance of the tablet is seen in how its message continues to guide those on the path of transformation. Whether we interpret its words as a guide to alchemy, the literal transformation of base metals into gold, or as a metaphor for personal and spiritual enlightenment, the tablet remains relevant. Just like people today seek self-discovery and meaning, ancient scholars, mystics, and alchemists sought these same truths through the words of the Emerald Tablet. One can imagine the philosopher Isaac Newton, sitting late at night with a candle burning beside him, poring over the Latin translation of the Emerald Tablet. Newton was fascinated with alchemy and the mysteries of the universe, and the tablet became one of his sources of inspiration. The idea of as above, so below, reflected Newton's own scientific pursuits, where the heavens and the earth followed the same laws of physics. For him, the tablet wasn't just about the mystical, it was also a guide to understanding the very fabric of reality. This kind of influence stretches across centuries. Whether it's a modern seeker looking for guidance or a scholar searching for knowledge, the Emerald Tablet offers something deep and profound. It reminds us that the process of transformation is both personal and universal. The mysteries it holds are not meant to be solved in a single lifetime, they are timeless, meant to inspire continuous discovery. Final thoughts on its influence. The Emerald Tablet continues to inspire scholars, mystics, and seekers of wisdom from all walks of life. Its cryptic yet powerful teachings are like seeds planted in the mind, encouraging personal reflection and exploration. The fact that it still captures our imagination, after thousands of years, is a testament to its influence. Whether you are drawn to its alchemical secrets or its spiritual insights, the tablet invites you to question, seek, and evolve. It's not about finding one definitive answer but about understanding that the journey itself is the key. The tablet opens a doorway to infinite possibilities, reminding us that the wisdom of the ages is always within reach if we dare to seek it. Full text of the Emerald Tablet. One of the fascinating things about the Emerald Tablet is how it has been interpreted across different cultures and languages. There are various translations of this ancient text, from Latin to Arabic to English, each bringing its own nuance and meaning. Some focus on its mystical aspects, while others emphasize its alchemical instructions. In the Latin version, the tablet begins with verum, sine mendatio, certum et verissimum, which translates to true, without deceit, certain and most true. This powerful opening declares the universal truths contained within, affirming that what is about to be revealed is no illusion but the essence of reality itself. In the Arabic version, there is an emphasis on the spiritual and metaphysical dimensions of the tablet, drawing connections between alchemy and Islamic mysticism. The English translations, while more straightforward, still capture the profound nature of the text, with its famous lines such as, "That which is above is like that which is below." These translations show us that while the Emerald Tablet's words may change across languages, the core message remains the same. It is a guide to understanding the universe, transformation, and the divine truths that connect everything. Thank you for joining us today. May abundance flow easily and continuously into your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. May the blessings of the universe overflow in your life.